I don't want to make this thing, blog, show, video blog, series of rants. I don't know, whatever the hell it's called that I'm doing here. To be really too Ottawa centric, because God knows there, it might be somebody in Winnipeg watching. Hello, Winnipeg. But so if you are in Ottawa, you know today probably that there was the big unveiling, the official handover of the keys from the Rideau Transit Group over to city officials, thereby indicating that after 456 days of delay, it's finally happening and trains are going to be running on September 14th. There have been 4 delays. It's been a bit of a clusterfuck. I ranted about this in a previous... God, I hope there's no cereal in my beard. I was just eating cereal right out of the box. And anyway, whatever. It's too late now. And so there's much fanfare about it today. I was busy, doing work. So I didn't actually, see any of the press conference, obviously, or footage. But I just heard the glowing praise about how wonderful this all is. Very positive, coverage in the local media as to, hey, it's finally happened after all this delay. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, all this being said, so I got to Twitter afterwards. By the way, at Trevor W. Thompson on Twitter. Follow me. But I was looking at Twitter at Joanne Quinello, who's she used to be a reporter for The Citizen. Now she works for CBC. She's great. Like, if anything happening is at City Hall, she knows about it. And she's their local beat reporter. And so she was doing kind of a live tweet of the technical briefing and of the press conference that coincided with the official media event where the mayor and the city council all got on the train, and we're thankful for the fact that it didn't derail. That would have been embarrassing. So anyway, I'm reading her tweets, kind of her breakdown of what was happening. So call me a crank, okay? But there's a couple of things a little bit concerning. I think we're kind of getting played here. I think what happened is the political will for this to finally happen was so overwhelming that, I mean, you can't point fingers, but it's coming from the top. The mayor's office, or somebody had to be saying, somebody with influence had to be putting pressure on these guys. Look, this has to fucking happen now. If it doesn't happen now, it's a fucking problem. Because there's 3 things that stand out to me here, okay? In Joanne Quinello's tweets. At J. Quinello, sorry. But you can see her address right there on the screen. She's great. Follow her if you're in Ottawa. So now she's talking about the press conference here. And first of all, okay, there's supposed to be 15 trains. That has been all along. They said there's supposed to be 15 of the double trains. Now they're saying there's only going to be 13. And John Manconi is the head of, I made fun of him in a previous blog, I believe. I don't like, anyway, whatever the rant. Civic ranting. So he's now saying, oh no, I hate to use this overused adjective, but Orwellian in terms of, oh, we never said what we said. So now they're saying we don't need 15 of these trains. We only need 13. And everyone, again, even, when I listened, it's funny because, Joanne Quinello works for CBC, but when I was listening while I was driving today, I was listening to CBC, and I listened to the news on CBC Radio, the bottom of the hour local newscast, which I never miss. Never call me at 3:30, 4:30, or 5:30. I am busy. Same with 6:30, 7:30, or 8:30 in the morning on a weekday. I am busy. It's time for local news at the bottom of the hour. Just so you know. Not that you were going to do that anyway. But so now she works for CBC. But the CBC reporting that I heard about this, there was none of this mentioned at all in the story at the bottom of the hour news. It was all just positive. This is wonderful. Thank you for your patience. It's finally happened. They really gave it a really uncritical slant in terms of their coverage of it. So now, this is right off the bat saying John Manconi's using ridership being down as an excuse for why we don't need as many trains. And I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't that kind of counterproductive? Because isn't the point, yeah, okay, maybe ridership has gone down because people are so goddamn impatient of light rail finally being implemented, By the way, 100 subscriber to my YouTube channel gets a free ride with me on the light rail train. Or if you don't want me around, I'll just pay for your fare. So yeah, 100 subscriber. I think I'm at 50 or something now. So yeah, like and subscribe. So, but isn't part of the point of bringing in this new LRT that's going to change the city? And it will, you know, hey, look, this is great as long as everything. I'm just a little concerned that I don't know if all the T's have been crossed here, okay? And if something does go awry, like, you can look back at this and say, hey, wait a minute, guys, were we really ready? And I know people are impatient. I know I've been making hack comedians like me have been making jokes about the fact, like, oh my God, what's going to come next? The Senators winning the Stanley Cup or LRT? You know, ha 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 ha. But because first, forget about the safety factor. The fact that do we have the volume to carry this many people? Because part of the idea behind LRT being implemented is going to increase ridership. So even right now, if ridership is down, well, when it subsequently increases because we got this great new train, we're not going to have the trains to handle the capacity now. That's the first thing, okay? And another thing. So the 12 consecutive days thing. Now, this is a big thing. This is something that really should have got more coverage from. Now, my media analysis consists of just listening to the CBC News at the bottom of the hour. I'm sure in the CBC local news and CTV local news and, you know, whatever local media, they like a half-hour long TV newscast, they probably paid some attention to this because, like, some of the members of council here are kind of pissed, like Caroline Meehan and Riley Brockington. Yeah, I think that's Brockington. Yeah. So, Councillor River Ward Riley Brockington. I hope. Yeah. Okay. Good. I was worried. Like, God, do I know my city council here? I thought it was quite clear that we were supposed to get 12 consecutive days of quasi-flawless. How do I explain this to my constituents? So that's another thing. Because, yeah, there was supposed to be 12 consecutive days of no issues in testing before the keys were handed over. And this was accepted. This was said multiple. Everybody knows this. Cab driver who driving you today knew this. The person driving the delivery truck knew this. The people on the hill, everybody in the city knew about the 12-day thing, about 2 weeks or 12 days of testing. And now, in their revisionist history, they're saying, well, we never really said that, but and Joanne Quinello gets so bemused, perplexed from these questioning. Here is Caroline Meehan, like, weren't they supposed to be run 12 consecutive days? Achieved an average over 12 days. Achieved an average. What the hell does that mean? It's supposed to be 12 straight days. Okay? It's not an average of, okay, you need to score a goal in 10 straight games for a 10-game goal-scoring streak. If you score 3 in one game, I know it's the way my jock brain thinks, I can only make sports analogies, but if you score 10 goals over a 10-game stretch, but you score 3 in one game and you don't score any for the next 3, that's not 10 consecutive games scoring a goal, okay? When Joe DiMaggio had a 56-game hitting streak, he had a hit in 56 straight games. He didn't have an average. Like, you see what I'm saying here? They're saying an average. It doesn't even make sense because she got so frustrated with his attempt at answering the question that she just... Okay, I asked him about the 12 consecutive days. He insists it did run for 12 days. Okay, the trains ran. Did they run successfully? Well, no, but they ran. But that's not what they were testing. There were 2 repeat... Honestly, I am no more clear in this issue after asking my question. We'll try again at the scrum. I'm basically just doing like a recap of Joanne Quinello's Twitter here with more swearing. But now here's like some people saying kind of the same shit as me here. Where is... Okay, I'm trying to find... Now, look, I'm not I've already talked about this before, like I said. I'm not a technical expert. I don't know the intricacies and levels of what is supposed to be involved for it to be like quasi-flawless, but let's go back to her Twitter here. So, but they're not explaining themselves very well, and like people need to take a critical look at this and be like, okay, what's really happening here? Like, if everything comes out without a hitch and the train starts running on September 14th and there's no issues with safety or volume or capacity, or the trains don't derail or they don't stop working as soon as it snows or it gets cold, hey, good on you. But man, do you honestly think that's gonna be, again, not to be a cynic, but they're rushing this. I know it's been now. It's rich for me to be like making all these jokes, but like you got to be ready. There was pressure. Call me a conspiracy theorist, okay? But I've watched The Wire. I know how Carcetti worked. Something's not right here. Okay, Morgan says, I thought it was quite clear that we were supposed to get 12 consecutive days of quasi. Okay, I already repeated that question, but there was one point here where she kind of just gets so frustrated where she's like, okay, the 15 trains thing, but there was another tweet here I was trying to find. I'm not going to like go on for 5 minutes about where she's just like, I have no idea what the hell. Basically, in effect, to summarize what Joanne Quinello, who I trust more than anybody at City Hall, especially any politician at City Hall, with the possible exception of my counselor, Sean Menard, although when I move in a week, I don't think he's going to be my counselor anymore, but that's too bad. I like him. There's a couple others too, but she basically threw her hands up in Twitter form. Is like, what the hell? And third thing, okay, this is only the first two things I've addressed. It's not officially handed over yet. Now they're trying to like downplay it, saying like, oh, there's just some T's that need to be crossed, and again, I's that need to be dotted. But really, everything is just fine. Like they again, kind of like buried in the details, like burying the lead here. But okay, I'm trying to find the tweet now where she's saying that she's actually talking about the fact that like now this is not. Fuck. This is where like using the Twitter thing. Okay, she's like doing a live tweet. Anyway, it's in here. Okay, you can like read into it more if you're into this kind of stuff, like I am. We're basically in effect. There's a few documents that still need to be signed, and there's still a few safety checks that need to be done. So it's not like, again, 3 different examples where like it sounds like, yeah, guys, this is. This might come back to bite you in the ass. Because what happens if on the weekend there's something discovered like, well, we haven't actually officially handed over the documents yet. The keys have not formally, I know they did the big ceremony today, like, the Mayor Quimby bullshit. But it hasn't actually officially happened yet. And what if something does happen between now and when they officially, everything's signed, sealed, delivered, and we're ready to go? Then what? Just more of like obfuscation and burying the details? Like, well, really... I know I sound like, civic troubleshooter Trevor Thompson here, but I'm sure everything will be fine. It's Friday night. I'm supposed to be keeping these light on Fridays. Have a great weekend, everybody. The next Trevor's Pad is only 9 days away, and it's going to be great. Sunday, September 1st. Great lineup. And we should look at my Twitter too, I suppose, since we're here. If I can actually find my Twitter. Oh, there's Sophie Hayes and Rachel Montgomery and somebody from Alberta and people I know. Yeah, shout out. Okay, why can't I find my... See, this is... Okay, home. Yeah, that's... Now, there, my profile. Wow. So, yeah, that's a very professional name. So, yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm really funny, really underrated. I was voted by Faces Magazine as best Twitter account in Ottawa with fewer than 1,000 followers, and that's total bullshit. I totally just made that up, but you know what? Enough people will probably believe it that I can run with it. I'm just going to start listing that as a credit. This is the first time I've actually used Twitter on a computer, not on my phone, in about 4 or 5 years. So it's taken a little bit of getting used to here. I never used Twitter. I couldn't even remember my password. And I just lucked out and found it. I'm like, oh, okay, good, that's it. So I was able, because, I wanted to show Twitter. I know, because this is a very professional video blog. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. I think I've gone long enough. Have a great night. It's a Friday night. Have fun. Be safe. God bless and all that. Stop recording. Stop.